Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Here's a clip. These people are sick. They can't stand to smell their own shit. Now they want to rewrite history. That shows right there a consciousness of guilt. That's what they call it. Because otherwise, if everything was on the up and up, why they want to change the story? They can't stand to smell their own shit. Here you go, brothers and sisters. It's pathetic.
Joins us now. Weingarten yesterday, and I was listening to this in real time, Martha seemed to want to have it both ways, to say, look, we should be teaching about 1619, we should be talking about slavery in America, but then again, not identifying any ethnic group as an oppressor or a non-oppressor.
I think you're exactly right, John. She had said in prior interviews that she thought that people who criticized the 1619 project didn't really understand what was in it. And yet when I pressed her on what was in it, she seemed to take a very simplistic view of it, that it was just about the fact that the first slave ships came over in 1619. It's not about sort of undercutting the meaning of the foundation of the country in 1776, which is based on equality for all.
Did you hear that bullshit? The fine was based on equality for all, and the people that wrote that document had slaves. They was raping black women, living off their labor, killing and raping them, and murdering them, oppressing them. And she said it was based on freedom and equality for all, while right in the Constitution says 3/5 of a human. These people are sick. Oh, when the country was really founded in 1776, see, we weren't about that. See, we wasn't about slavery then. See, we got rid of it by then. See, because that was back in 1619. That's when the British was controlled. But once we got control, we got rid of that stuff. See, because we was about freedom, justice, equality for all, everybody, regardless of colors and ethnicity. These people are sick. They show they sick. They can't stand to smell their own shit. That's why they're talking like that. Just listen to them. They're sick.
And she said, no, I don't think that you should talk about two different groups of children as victims and oppressors, which we know is indeed what has happened in school systems across the country who have employed this curriculum. After the 1619 project was done in the New York Times, it became very widely read. And then they started pushing it out as curriculum and teaching supplies that were given to schools across the country to start to integrate this into their systems. So it's very widely spread in the country. And I think a lot of people don't really understand the details of what it really talks about.
And we saw some video just a moment ago as a bit of a non sequitur of you sitting down with Betsy DeVos, the former education secretary under the Trump administration. You did speak with her in the last little while. You talked about this. What does she have to say about it?
Well, she sees this as something that needs to be better understood for parents across the country. That the questioning of the foundation of the roots of why the country was founded and how it was founded, and the fact that scholars have dug into this 1619 project and said that they need to make corrections in it. That there's no real evidence that the colonists wanted to create a new nation so that they could preserve slavery. In fact, Gordon Wood, who studies this extensively.
What about the scholars that supported the document? What about the ones that support it? What about those scholars? See, you can always find some house Negroes or whatever, right? That make up lies. What about those scholars? I mean, in other words, no historians or anything backs it up, and yet still all the teachers are teaching it.
So there's absolutely no evidence of that among the colonists. In fact, slavery was ending in Great Britain at the time, and there wasn't much discussion among the colonists about that fact. So, we have a better understanding of why the country was founded, but there's been an effort to kind of rewrite the history. So
and you're part of that effort. Yeah, it stopped in Britain. You tell the whole story about that, right? That's one of your conflicts in Britain, because they was trying to stop it over there, not because they love slaves. That's a whole nother story altogether.
That the equity argument can be made of systemic racism. So if you take everything back to 1619, it builds and supports the argument that the country is essentially a racist country built on racist foundations.
I think we have a little bit of this.
Of course it was built on racist foundations. What else was it built on? What'd you do with the Indians? Did you consider them human? What'd you do with them? I mean, isn't this their country? What'd you do with them? See, people are sick. They sit around here, they think they're angels, you see. They think they're angels. Oh, see how pretty we look? We couldn't be evil. They don't want to look in the mirror. They don't want to look in the mirror. See, they don't want to look in the mirror. 'Cause when they look in the mirror, they see what they really are. And that's what they're trying to do. Don't bring no mirrors around here. See, that's what 1619 is a mirror to them. They don't want to see it. See, give me one of those. What's those? You know, you go to the fun house, those contorted mirrors that make you look skinny if you're fat. It makes you look fat if you're skinny. People are sick. Anybody got any sense know that outright lie. It wasn't built on racism. What was it built on? Did you come over here and what the Indians gamble it away? You know, one American playing poker. You're playing poker, all right? You're poking at women. Y'all sick, sick, sick people. And you think you're so beautiful. That can't be us. We're so beautiful. We're so good people. You know, God has blessed America. Oh, now you put all this evil that you've done on God. So I guess so, because the God you're serving is Satan. See, that's why you generic God, because Jesus said the God as well as Satan. That's why he say, see, they don't have a name for God. You notice that they don't have a name for God. See, everybody else has a name for God, but you notice over here in America they don't have a name for God. Or they say Jesus is his son, but they don't have a name for God. Islam have a name for God, Allah, and Buddhists have a name. The Hindus have a name. Everybody's got a name. Even the Jehovah's Witnesses got a name. They don't have a name. Why? Because the God they talking about, and God we trust, God bless America, is Satan. That's the God they're talking about.
The sound from your interview with Betsy DeVos. Let's play that now.
Oh, great. The reality is that the teachers' unions have continued to play politics with kids' lives and their futures. And we're seeing the results today and only beginning to see that, the tip of the iceberg on that. This has been a horrible year for kids across the country. And the teachers' unions and their allies have dug in their heels.
So she's talking more broadly, too, about getting back to school. I mean, clearly you covered a lot of topics with her, and we'll see that coming up.
Yeah, I mean, John, she lays it out very clearly. The teachers' unions have actually done a spectacular job at their mission, which is to protect their voters, to protect teachers. They've brought in $123 billion in these COVID relief funds for schools. And when you think about it, teachers are the only essential workers.
Okay, that's enough of that. I guess you get the idea, brothers and sisters. See? But we're going to talk about that a little later. See? Because these people, see, now the truth always comes out. See, so Allah's making them, forcing them to tell the truth, and they can't stand it. They can't stand smelling their own shit. Please, I don't want to smell that. Please, please don't rub my nose in my own shit. Please, please don't rub my nose in that shit. Please, please, please. Because we ain't like that. That can't be us. We don't do things like that. But that's what you did. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sick people.